They've sailed together since they were kids, but it took the prospect of another kid to see Daniel and Nathan Van Kerkhoff join forces competitively.
Daniel's wife fell pregnant, who he normally sails with, and just sort of fell into place like that.
Recently, the pair has been practising on borrowed equipment. An 18-foot catamaran that belongs to national junior champion Madowie's Lockie White. Their Viper competition boat is already heading for France.
It's a little bit shorter than this one, only 16 foot long, weighs around 120 kilos, very, very fast, top speed of around 55 kilometres an hour.
Born and raised in Port Stephens, 34-year-old Daniel and 28-year-old Nathan feel just as comfortable on Lake Macquarie and, for that matter, any other body of water. Their win at the Asia-Pacific titles in New Zealand over Easter has only added to expectations ahead of the world titles.
Quite a few wins under our belt now, and we seem to have really clicked as a combination. So I think a podium finish, if we didn't walk away with a podium finish, we'd be a little bit disappointed in ourselves.
I'm really not 100% sure what to expect, just because I haven't been to that kind of field before. And honestly, it's a little bit nerve-wracking for me.
Like most siblings, they don't always agree, but they claim it's all smooth sailing on the water.
It's handy sailing with your brother because that connection's always there, and believe it or not, we actually don't fight on the boat.
We probably fight a bit more on the shore, but yeah, we're pretty in sync on the boat, and I actually think it helps us being brothers out there on the water.
Mitchell Hughes, NBN News.
The Premier in Medford amid growing pressure to reveal when construction will begin on Maitland's new hospital. That announcement was anticipated this morning, but instead there was this.
We are close to being able to announce the model, the size, the clinical services, the funding, and they will come in due course. But you need to do the work first.
Mike Baird also couldn't say whether work will start before the election, except that it should be completed within 5 years. The opposition says it's not good enough.
Today, Mike Baird should have been announcing a commencement date for the start of Maitland Hospital, not just a photo opportunity.
The Premier did show his support for Newcastle MP Tim Owen, who will write a submission to the Planning Assessment Commission after it recommended Newcastle Council receive just $500,000 in levies from the multi-billion-dollar T4 project.
That's entirely appropriate, and as he should. But I also think there's an opportunity for Port Waratah to listen to the concerns that have been raised, and they've got an opportunity to voluntarily contribute to the debate and indeed make a higher contribution.
And it was a special day for Thornton-based Aussie Care, which provides food to 4,000 needy families. Founders Peter and Melita West receiving Community Service Awards.
If we can put food in one kid's belly that needs it, we've done our job for the day.
Emma Murphy, NBN News.
This is the man police are desperate to catch. He's wanted over 6 armed and attempted armed robberies across Lake Macquarie in just 9 days.
Generally, we might have about 5 or 6 a month on average, which is disturbing enough. But when you get that many over a short period of time, certainly it is a big concern for us.
The first came on June 30 at a service station in Rathmines. Then on Sunday, there was an attempted robbery at Freeman's Waterhole before staff were attacked at a service station in Belmont North. 3 hours later, a news agency was robbed at Rathmines. Early yesterday, a Cardiff servo was targeted. Just 40 minutes earlier, the thief had tried to rob this service station in Belmont, but on that occasion at least he was unsuccessful. Zaf Aziz's co-worker was on at the time.
He's coming outside, he have a mask on, and doesn't show his face. He said like this, open the door, But he said, take off your mask, then I open the door. He said no.
In each case, officers say the bandit wielded a knife before demanding cash and cigarettes. Police are stepping up patrols to end the crime spree.
So we've got extra police on the street. Some are in plain clothes, so you won't even know they're there.
Madeline McKell, NBN News.
It looks like an unfortunate case of history repeating itself. 23 years ago, Carrington Slipways was closed after running out of work, and now it seems 4Jacks is facing a bleak future. In May, the shipbuilder welcomed defence funding in the federal budget.
We're not sure at this stage, of course, what that means specifically for 4Jacks, but hopefully for shipbuilding in this country, it's a very positive development.
But with new work still yet to arrive, next week it will let 100 workers go. 4Jacks has released a statement saying the cuts place it in a good position, but indicating that without new contracts, more jobs will follow. Today, the Shadow Assistant Defence Minister met with Labor MP Sharon Clayton and 4Jack staff.
By the end of next week, there'll be some 650 rather than 750 people working here at 4Jacks, and we can see that number steadily declining over the next couple of years.
Defence Minister David Johnston last week defended the decision to limit the tender process for 2 new ships to overseas builders, saying that Australian shipyards do not have the infrastructure to complete the work. Those are comments that came as a blow to 4Jacks. It follows the state government's preference to purchase new trains offshore.
It's a double whammy for Newcastle, losing our train making, the possibility of losing shipbuilding.
Samuel Jordan, NBN News.
We need to reflect on the contribution that miners paid, quite often the supreme sacrifice in the past to protect and serve this nation.